Remember when Judy Garland turned an affair into one of her longest marriages ever? I do. Michael Sidney Luft was born on November 2nd, 1915 in New York City. An amateur boxer turned test pilot for the Royal Canadian Air Force, Sid made his way to Hollywood where he married actress Mary Lou Simpson in 1940. They were divorced 2 years later. He then married Lynn Bari, an actress for 20th Century Fox in 1943. The pair propagated twice. They had a daughter who passed away shortly after birth and a son, John, who was born in 1948. It was around the time that John was born that Lynn filed for divorce, stating that Sid was never around. She told the judge he'd leave the house in the evening to get a newspaper and he'd come back at 6 a.m. So it made sense that when he was introduced to a 28-year-old Judy Garland at a Manhattan nightclub that he opted to not go back home for a bit. While Sid may have been in the throes of a divorce, Judy was still very much legally married. Vincent's existence didn't stop her, though, and she opted to pursue Sid anyway. Once he returned home to LA, he assumed that their affair was over, but when he got back to his office, he discovered that Judy had called, inquiring about the date of his return. Sid said that he knew he was not going to play hard to get. Their first date was at Villanova on the Sunset Strip. For their second date, he picked her up on the corner by her house. He even gave the horn a little tap, saying, "We were having a wonderful lark of a time together at the expense of Vincent." And the two men couldn't have been more different. Where Vincent was gentle and timid, Sidney was brash and bold. Despite not wanting to get involved with a married woman, especially Judy, who was known for her instability, he still did. He asked himself, how unstable could she be? Judy leaned on Sidney in a way that she couldn't lean on Vincent. She said that Vincent was unable to help her floundering career. The month that they met in New York had also been the same month that she had been officially fired from MGM. Sid knew that Judy was a star and concocted an idea to get her career back on track in America. He wanted to revitalize Broadway's Palace Theater and put Judy back where she longed to be, the stage. But it was during rehearsals for their show in 1951 that Sidney and Judy found themselves in a different type of collaboration. Judy was pregnant, and Sidney didn't want her to be. Both were still married to other people, and he feared what kind of publicity the pregnancy would bring. Again, Judy found herself faced with terminating her pregnancy. The show was a massive hit, though, and even won a special Tony Award. Not only was it the revival of vaudeville, but the beginning of the cult of Garland, claimed Sid. By 1952, both Sidney and Judy's divorces had been finalized. The pair were married on June 8, 1952 at a friend's ranch in Hollister, California. It's not just a store. Judy was already a few months along with their second fetal collaboration. Little Lorna Luft was welcomed to the world 5 months later on November 21st, 1952. Again, Judy suffered from postpartum depression. Doctors offered her medication, but she was already in the throes of self-medicating, an issue that Sidney wasn't all too worried about. As Judy continued taking amphetamines, she also was taking stimulants to help her maintain her weight and to be camera slim. Sidney told her that he didn't think that she needed to lose any more weight, and she finally confessed that she needed the pills to sustain her energy while on set. He figured he could manage the pills and her career. And managing her career he was. Sidney was looking for a studio to back the project that Judy had been wanting to do for years, a remake of A Star is Born. In Judy's case, it was more like A Star Was Reborn. The movie premiered to high acclaim despite some shortcomings, like a cut in length when it hit theaters, which included 2 of Judy's songs hitting the cutting room floor. It even earned her an Oscar nomination, except on the night of the Oscars she didn't win. She watched her name not be called from her hospital bed, having given birth the day before to her son Joseph on March 29, 1955. Sidney thought she didn't win due to those cuts. Before the pair were married, Sid had said, "I love Judy. I want to protect her from the trauma she once knew. I don't want her to be bewildered or hurt again. I want her to have happiness. Neither I nor anyone else can ever force her to do anything she doesn't want to do." But despite his efforts, their marriage was turbulent. As Judy's stardom and health decreased, her pill use increased. Sidney backed off from managing her career as the pair separated multiple times over the course of their relationship. By 1962, they were living separately in their home, with the children occupying one wing and Judy in the other. Ultimately, they split in 1963, with Judy telling the judge that Sidney had struck her many times and drank a lot. Their divorce was finalized, and Judy got custody of Lorna and Joey. Now, of course, Sidney went on to remarry. He married Patty Hemingway in 1970, but their marriage barely lasted a year. In 1993, he married another actress, Camille Keaton, who was allegedly a distant cousin of Buster Keaton. Camille was 35 years Sidney's junior. The same year that they were married, Sidney attempted to auction off the Oscar statue that Judy had won in 1939 for her role of Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, along with the replacement statue that Judy was sent when she claimed she lost the original one. He was barred from selling the statues by a judge and was ordered to pay 60,000 doll hairs to the Academy of Motion Pictures. In 1999, Lorna released a memoir titled Shadows, a family memoir, and she did not paint Sidney in a good light. Sabe responded to the portrayal by saying Lorna was only 15 when her mother died, so what the hell did she really know about what went on? And that, my friends, is why children go no contact. He also said, whatever bad things happened, you don't fall out of love with somebody like Judy. All I know is that if anyone tried to save a woman who was breaking apart, I did. I did the best I could do, and it still wasn't enough. Sidney passed away on September 15th, 2005 at the age of 89. His memoir, Judy and I, My Life with Judy Garland, was published 12 years later. As for Judy, we still have 2 more marriages to go. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you liked this one. If you did, please save it and share it with your friends. It really does help spread the good word of the cult. And don't forget to follow me over on the gram and the tube of the U just in case. Good day, and may the cult be with you.